it's unbelievable that we're being attacked.
Greenhill Humane Society responds to a group of people alleging alarming issues since they took over LCAS last July. Thank you for joining us tonight for News Source 16 at 5:30. I'm Matt Templeman. It has been almost 3 months since Greenhill Humane Society took over Lane County Animal Services due to county budget cuts. Now, there's been a lot of changes in the transition from what used to be LCAS to the First Avenue Shelter. Tonight, an in-depth look at what one group says those problems are and what Greenhill says about it. News Source 16's Angela Brauer has more on our top story tonight.
We've gotten hundreds of emails, notifications from a number of Facebook pages, and phone calls from multiple people, all noting concern for the conditions at the First Avenue shelter. Documents that we've obtained also imply that the animals might be suffering because of a conflict in management. So what has the transition been like? Are there problems that need addressed? And what can the community do, if anything, to help?
We've definitely been working overtime to make this transition as smooth as possible.
While coordinators say the shelter is now under new ownership, they add that its mission has remained the same.
The First Avenue shelter is for stray animals, animals that come in lost from their owners, also animals that are confiscated from abuse and neglect situations.
First, it's important to note the difference between the two facilities. Greenhill on Greenhill Road has never taken in strays, only pets brought in by their owners. It serves a completely different purpose.
These are people that can no longer care for their animals and come to us seeking adoption.
Yet a group called No Kill Lane County Coalition is rallying for answers, alleging alarming issues that have been observed by current and former volunteers at both locations.
The dogs are not getting proper attention, and we're talking these dogs are sitting in their kennels for 18 hours without being able to go out and go potty.
Volunteers have taken photos on various days at various times, showing that the volunteer walk board is nearly blank in some spots.
The staff would not be able to get them out to go to the potty in the afternoon. There were days where they would miss feeding the dogs because they were stretched so thin that they literally wouldn't even realize that the dogs hadn't been fed until one of the volunteers would say, "Has everyone eaten today?"
We saw the board for ourselves when we went to First Avenue Shelter, and the fact of the matter is, X's are missing from the board, meaning that some dogs haven't gotten walked, and some are only allowed to be walked by staff, but that is never tracked.
Many dogs, their first walk is when they took themselves for a walk and went stray. Then they were picked up, they come here, and they're for the most part returned to owner within 24 or 48 hours. So they're actually getting that next walk about 24, 48 hours after they come.
Another concerning claim.
Says she's found 34 violations.
The coalition says there are clear breaches in the contract that was signed once Greenhill became owner. One of the breaches has been the fact that there wasn't a certified vet technician at the shelter for weeks, even though the contract requires full-time on-site care.
Not on-site, but we have 24/7 medical coverage. We have agreements with local veterinary clinics. Our director of shelter medicine is on call 24/7. She's here at least 50% of the time.
Carrie says a new CVT starts Tuesday. Until this point, though, it's been issues like this one that Jill says she and dozens of other people have wanted answers to. They've sent emails, letters, and have made phone calls to Lane County and the city of Eugene, pushing for an investigation.
Usually we never get an answer at all.
The Lane County Board of Commissioners said in an email, quote, Lane County is working closely with Greenhill management through the transition of shelter services and will continue our established contract management practices. The city of Eugene has also received numerous emails and says while there's no formal investigation pending on their side, they continue to monitor the shelter on a regular basis.
I don't feel like they really know what's going on.
Some say the situation has become so severe that personnel who once oversaw a great deal of LCAS have left.
I was the volunteer and community outreach coordinator.
Elizabeth Thompson is one of those people. She left her position 2 weeks ago.
It was one of those things where it's painful to watch, and so I spent most of my days crying in the front office.
Decided to bring a mountain lion on the show here this morning.
You may have seen Elizabeth here on News Source 16 in the mornings, volunteering to come in early for Pet of the Week. Elizabeth was also the person in charge of LCAS's Facebook page, usually asking for donations and getting help for specific animals like this one. Mitzi.
With Greenhill, I was literally told not to ask for donations on the Facebook, that they wanted people to donate, but not for specific animals.
Greenhill told us that is true because their philosophy is different.
What was seen on the LCAS Facebook page was, here's an animal who's in need of medical care. We can't provide that medical care unless we raise this money. That would imply that they've been withholding medical care. We won't do that.
Current and former volunteers say that might be the case at Greenhill, but there have been animals at the First Avenue location recently that still didn't get the care they needed. A dog named Oakley, a cat named Mister, and many others, which, if the case, they say also violates the contract.
Failure to provide treatment for pain is unacceptable. And Jerry Maguire spent the last 72 hours of his life with no pain medication whatsoever.
A difference in opinion as to whether to spend the money on pain meds or not ended with the same result. Jerry Maguire, the cat, was put down due to an incurable ear cancer, which leads us to another issue the coalition has. Jill, Elizabeth, and a lot of other people say Greenhill is allowing euthanization of animals, even though some people believe Greenhill is a no-kill shelter. And in some instances, they say it seems like for no good reason at all.
We do not call ourselves a no-kill shelter. We do not euthanize for space or time. We treat animals that are treatable.
The coalition disagrees, saying Greenhill is killing too quick. And a former CVT who was let go from the shelter agrees. She prefers to stay anonymous, but says she tried her best to keep what she found to be curable animals alive.
There is a difference of opinion about what no-kill might mean. Most no-kill standards say that a live release rate of 90% or better is what you'd want to achieve.
And based on the public records request that we made to Greenhill, documents that you can find online, these numbers they've recorded do meet those standards. They had a live release rate of 86% for cats and 97% for dogs, but that could mean that those animals were live released to Greenhill on Greenhill Road.
Greenhill would come down and take all the adoptable cats away and take them up to Greenhill. So we felt like the First Free Shelter was just a sort of a dump, you know. Oh, here's all the junk, and then, okay, this one looks good, we'll take it up here, and that'll help our numbers.
Bottom line, the coalition wants more staff and management at the First Avenue shelter, and they want what they feel is a public entity back in the public's hands.
It's transparency. Transparency is so important. Don't fall for the company line. Ask for proof, you know. I feel like we have a lot of it here.
Greenhill, however, says none of it's true.
We were the only organization that that came up and stepped forward for this. It's unbelievable that we're being attacked.
Adding that they have a lot of oversight on policies and procedures. Being a nonprofit that contracts for animal services, they say it doesn't obligate them to become a public entity too.
It is unfortunate that the time, the energy, the resources that are being put into chasing down things that just aren't true is actually taking away from the life-saving work that we need to do here.
In Lane County, Angela Brauer, News Source 16.